I get these two questions a lot. The first one is, why do you want financial freedom? And the second one is, why do you make YouTube videos? And in this video, I want to answer the first question. And to be clear, I don't want financial freedom just to be rich. Well, being rich is a nice to have, but for me, I want financial freedom because I want ownership over my own life, and not in a superficial way, but in a real, meaningful way. Before we continue, if you are new here, welcome to our beta version. My name is Elizabeth. You can also call me Les. And on this channel, I talk about personal finances as well as wholesome living. And please do note that nothing I say on this channel should be seen or received as financial advice. And if you are looking for financial advice, please speak to somebody who is certified and registered with the relevant bodies in your area in order for them to provide financial advice. And now that we know each other, let's get into why I personally want financial freedom. Because I think a lot of times we focus so much on making the money and hitting the number, and we forget what we want that money to actually do in our lives. And the first thing for me is that I want to own my time. One of the biggest things that money affects is time. And I think a lot of people underestimate how exhausting it feels when your life belongs entirely to your obligations. It's your meetings, it's your deadlines, it's your family, it's your community. You work, you get fatigued, you recover, and then you do it again and again and again and again. And the responsibility is part of being an adult. I am not trying to run away from responsibility, but I do not want my whole life to revolve around survival. I want more ownership of how I spend my time. My time to rest, my time to travel, my time to spend with people that I care about, and time to spend actually enjoying my life. So financial freedom for me does not mean that I never work again. It just means that I have a real choice of how I spend my days. I have a real choice of how my time is spent. And not only that, I want to make decisions without money being the first thing that I think about. One of the quietest forms of pressure is when money controls your choices before you even get to ask, what do I actually want? And because of that, a lot of people stay in environments that drains them because they cannot afford to leave. People postpone their rest, they postpone their health, they even postpone their dreams because money becomes the first lens through which every decision is made. And that is not what I want for myself. And I understand that reality. A lot of us are living different versions of it. But for me, I do not want that for myself. I do not want fear to be the thing that makes decisions for me. I want to make decisions based on alignment. I want decisions that are based on peace. I want to have a choice to make my decisions based on alignment and based on what I actually want for my life. Is that too much to ask? I don't think that is too much to ask. And not only that, I want to have options. And that is what financial freedom means to me. To have options, to be able to choose how I spend my time and making decisions that are not being controlled by money. And with that freedom, I want to do meaningful work of my choice. And here I have to say, work feels completely different when it comes from alignment instead of financial pressure. I know too many people who dread waking up every single day to go to their job. And maybe it's because they are going to work that they do not love. Maybe it's because they have a horrible boss. Maybe it's because they work in a toxic environment. And the list is endless. When it comes to work, there is a huge difference between doing something because you truly love it and doing something because you feel trapped, you have bills to pay, and you have mouths to feed. Even when your mental health is compromised or it's bad, you keep showing up because you feel you do not have a choice. You have people that are depending on you, you have bills that are waiting for you to pay. And you know that if I don't show up and I lose this job or I quit, then I'm just creating a whole set of new problems for myself because of everything that depends on this income that I am earning at this job. No matter how toxic it is, no matter how horrible your boss is, no matter how you do not like your job and you are not aligning to it. And this is exactly why I want financial freedom, because I want the freedom to choose work that aligns with my values. I want to choose work that allows me to create, that allows me to teach, and that allows me to contribute in a way that feels like me. Not because someone has imposed it to me, but because I am consciously and intentionally choosing the type of work that I want to do, who I work with, where I work, and what I actually want to build. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of people want exactly that. And I don't think people are lazy. I think people are just exhausted from spending most of their lives doing work that feels disconnected from who they are. And I'm gonna say that again. Most people are not lazy. They are just exhausted from spending most of their lives doing work that feels disconnected from who they are. And the last one, which is my biggest reason for wanting financial freedom, is that I want to live a wholesome life. And this is a deep one for me, because I don't want to have money and then I don't have peace. I don't want to have money and I don't have time. I don't want to have money and then I'm constantly stressed or I don't have good health. To me, wealth should improve your life. Wealth should improve the quality of your life. When you are wealthy, you should have a better quality of life. The quality of your relationships, your well-being, your time to rest, time to do things that are meaningful to you, and your ability to experience the life that you are building. For me, I feel like having that FIRE number or having that financial freedom number is one thing, but the experience of you building that up and you getting there, it's equally important, because you can't fold your hands for 20 years or 15 years or whatever number of years it takes you to get there, and then you are not living, you are just waiting to get to that number before you start living. Then that will be a wasted life. And another thing for me when it comes to living a wholesome life, I want a life where I have my slow mornings. I don't want the rushed mornings. I don't want to live a life where every day you have to wake up at a specific time and rush around through traffic and all of that. I really want slow mornings. I want to start my mornings with intention, do yoga, meditate, do whatever, do all the health rituals or all the health practices in the mornings. Have a slow morning before you start your day. I don't care if my afternoons are rushed. I don't care if my evenings are rushed. I don't care how packed the schedule is in the rest of the day, but at least let my morning be a slow morning. I want those slow mornings. And if you are not financially free, you will not have that, because someone will tell you, I have employed you to be here by 7:30 or to be here by 8 o'clock, and that is what you do. It doesn't matter whether you are tired, it doesn't matter whether you are not feeling well, it doesn't matter whether you are depressed or life is throwing too many things at you. You are rushed through that because you don't have the freedom to choose for yourself. And that is not what I want. I want to choose, and one of the things that I want to choose is slow mornings. And the other thing for me, I do not want to spend winter months in Namibia. These cold winters of Windhoek, and it starts in May, and then June, and then July, and then August, and nowadays September, it's still cold. So it's like a whole 5 months of layers of clothing, of heaters, of this. I don't want that. I want to have financial freedom, and I want to choose to spend the cold months of Namibia out in other warmer places. Whether it's warm places still within Namibia or it's warm places out there, if it's beautiful and it's warm, sign me up. I'm in. And that for me, those are some of the luxuries that I feel financial freedom can buy for you. It can buy for you slow mornings, it can buy for you intentionality, and it can buy for you spending time in places that align with who you are and what you want. I'm not a person who loves the cold. It's winter right now in Windhoek. I don't like winter. I don't think I will ever like winter, and that is okay. For people who love it, that is okay. But for me, I prefer being in a warm environment. And I think having financial freedom and living a wholesome life will allow me to actually spend those months wherever I choose to spend it, where I am not having 3 blankets on top of me and I don't have to wear 5 layers of clothing and all of those things. And the other thing that I forgot to mention is that wholesome living is a living where you have peace. When you are living a wholesome life, you have peace, you are flexible, you are intentional, you have choice, and overall you are just in a better place in the different parts of your life. We are talking about your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and obviously the most important one, your spiritual health. And having all of that in good balance, and having balance in all of those areas, for me, that is a big part of what financial freedom represents. Because once money is no longer an issue that affects your decision making, that means you have endless options, you have endless possibilities, and you are able to choose based on what you want, based on what aligns with you, and based on what you really want to build, the life that you really want to live. It's not that thing where before you decide on something, you first have to think, can I afford this? Can I afford that? So that is really what financial freedom means to me. And before we end the video, I just want to say that financial freedom is not just about the money. Like I said earlier, you have a number that you want to achieve, but you have a whole life that you are living while you are getting to that number. So it's about what are you creating slowly and eventually fully living that type of life. Like I was talking earlier about the slow mornings. You can do your slow mornings over weekends. You can do your slow mornings when you have taken time off from work. Whenever you get a chance, live out pieces of the things that you really want to build for your life. Don't wait for the grand entrance into financial freedom. So it's about ownership of your time and ownership of your life, and it's about you having options, but you are building these things up as you go. You are not gonna wake up and then just like that you are in this financial freedom era and all of these things are happening. You are building these things up as you go. And maybe the question when it comes to financial freedom should not be about how much money do I want or how much money do I need. Maybe the question should be, what kind of a life do I want for myself? And then you cost that. Then you ask yourself, how much will it cost for me to live that type of a life? And all of us are not having the same vision or the same thing that we want. Freedom means something different to different people. Maybe someone's freedom is funded by 500,000. Another person maybe is funded by 5 million. For another person, maybe it's funded by 20 million. Whatever it is, we all have our own version of the life that we want for ourselves, and then we put a number to it. Then we work towards that number. So I want to say to you, dreams are free and the universe is always listening. People will say these things of financial freedom and wholesome living and what. These things feels like those things from the movies and it's not attainable. No, I am not allowing myself to listen to that because like I said, dreams are free and the universe is always listening. So keep putting out your intention of the things that you want. Those things are going to eventually come true. We don't know whether it will be tomorrow, it will be next year, it will be 5 years from now or 10 years from now, but we must keep dreaming. That is how we build our lives with intention. There is nothing lost in you dreaming, and I think a lot of people do want freedom. They might not say it, they might not admit it, but at the core, I think we all want some version of freedom. And it's our job to keep putting out the intention and working on it every single day, every single month to build that life that we want for ourselves. With that said, let me know in the comments, are you also building your life of freedom? I would like to know, and I do read all the comments and I do respond to as many of them as possible. So let me know in the comments, how are you building your own life of freedom? I'll see you in the next video.